It's Tuesday, February the 10th, 9 p.m. in the DMV. I'm Sam Giacinto.
And 6 p.m. here in Los Angeles, I'm Jack Armstrong. Welcome to Tech Talk Live. We have two very special guests joining us today. We have Casper and Cheryl Stockham from IamLoveBuilders.net. They are building a God-centered relationship platform that uses a multi-tiered digital ecosystem to build marriage and relationship champions. They've built an impressive tech stack around their MVP, most valuable partner, LoveHub, combining community features, streaming content, assessments, and coaching support. Welcome to the show, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Man, it's good to be with you guys. And I definitely have to capture that intro from now on. I appreciate that, Jack.
Jack did a good job on it.
Yeah, that was good.
I hope that sums up what you guys are building. But yeah, would love to hear from you. Tell us about the Love Hub. And obviously, this is great timing with Valentine's Day coming up. So hope we're all in the spirit.
Yeah. So last year we were building out an actual app, and as we were building it out, we found out that it really didn't give us all the pieces we needed to bring everything that we're doing together. And we're doing a lot, right? We have a TV show, we have a podcast, we've written books, and we're trying to pull all this together. And the app just wasn't cutting it. So then we reached out to a company called Pinnacle AI. It's very similar to Go High Level. When it comes to CRM, I mean, they have the website design, they have the funnel system, the contacts, everything is all in one location. So we're able to build out our community in that and then turn that into a place where people can congregate and get all kinds of great information about marriages and relationships.
Awesome. So building this into one platform, how do you make sure everything works seamlessly together? Is it difficult?
Well, it is in the beginning, as you probably know, when you are starting out as a entrepreneur or a solopreneur, budget is very important. And so you have a vision of what you want technology wise, you know what you want, you know how you want it to all come together, but then it's finding it that will flow seamlessly, like you just mentioned, without giving away all of your children in order to afford it. You know what I'm saying? So that was the difficult thing. I mean, in the beginning, we did have technology in place, but we had to do a little hodgepodging a little bit.
It was I had a CRM over here, and I had the website over here, and I had just different, and then the app, right? They were all separate, and it just wasn't coming together in a way that made sense for us to build out this community. So now it's really all in one place. Now this app is very robust, so I'm still learning it, but it still brings everything together. So when somebody fills out a form, it's not in a separate CRM. It's now within the app. So it just brings it all together.
Because you want it to be smooth and easy for the community. You want the transition for them to be customer friendly. You want them to be relaxed. You don't want them to have to do a lot of hunting and pecking to find what it is they're looking for. So it's very important to find the right system in the form of the technology that you can use, that everyone is going to flow seamlessly and effortlessly as best as possible for everyone.
Yeah. And our community feels like a Facebook. So it's just like a Facebook or school, to where when they come in, they're not going to try to, they're not really going to be confused, because it has the
look and feel,
of
something
a Facebook,
familiar to them,
right? You can click on videos, you can go to the learning section and click on a course. It's very user friendly.
Hey, you bring up a really good point about it. I like to call it logistical friction. When it's technology should be a tool and not something that almost exhausts you to the point of like, well, I'm not going to share my experience because I can't be like, this is difficult to use. This is it's not an augment. It's a detriment to me, and especially with relationship building online spaces. I think that's especially important because you want to facilitate that and you don't want technology getting in the way. Whereas, you know, depending on who you ask or how it's used, technology can most certainly get in the way of modern
No doubt.
relationships.
No doubt. As we were building it out and creating it, you know, we came up with the name Love Hub, but then we quickly realized, especially with our logo, and it was intentional to be kind of colorful and attract, you know, to pull people in.
Yeah.
But we realized we had to make sure they realize it's a God-centered community. Because, you know, when you say Love Hub, they're like, oh, okay, let's go on in there. Let's see what's going on. So.
And not only that, because our community is age-wise vast, we want it to be comfortable for everyone.
Yeah.
We have those who are very technologically advanced in our community, and then we have those who are midstream, and then those who are just not at all. So we still want them to feel comfortable, you know, everyone to feel comfortable.
Yeah. And another misconception is this is not a dating site.
Right.
Even though people could potentially connect on the site, it's not geared towards that. It's not like swipe left, swipe right kind of deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is more of an informational, safe place for them to get information, learn and grow and share.
Yeah, I love that you bring that up because I feel like it. Yeah, what is the difference between a dating app in the traditional sense, and how are you guys different from that?
Well, we're totally different because the dating app, literally, when you're joining to try to connect with someone. And what we're trying to do is provide information so you can become the best you. You know, our MVP program, right? The most valuable partner. Once you become the best you won't have to have a dating site. You can just be out and you're going to start attracting the right person to be with you. You know, but you have to be 100%. With a dating site, is you just kind of put up a picture. It might be 10 years old or something. And they're like swiping. Oh, okay. He looks good or she looks good. Nothing like that exists on our platform. It's really just about education
and information, support. And for those who are having challenges on learning how to communicate, learning how to heal within themselves. Because a misconception about relationships is when you're on a dating site, you're not looking to get yourself healed before you get involved into the next relationship. But what we're all about is that relationships work and they work wonderfully. However, we as human beings need to go and get the healing that we need to be the best us that we can be. I mean, if you've had trauma and drama from your childhood until your adulthood, if you have not had the right type of information or education about what it means to communicate, or as they say, fight fair in a relationship, then you're going to continue to struggle. And even it doesn't matter how many people you connect with, those connections are not necessarily going to be authentic or healthy. Potentially.
If a dating site actually cared about the health and well-being of the people on their app, they really should say, okay, go to the Love Hub first, get healed, then come to our app. So now we can have two healthy people connecting together.
No, you bring up a really good point with, you know, the amount of introspection that's required sometimes to develop yourself before you're ready for another person, you know. And I think, you know, dating apps certainly commodify the whole, you know, it's very much, you know, it's a little robotic in how you approach something. Something that could be the most intimate thing in your life is sort of reduced to, you know, I mean, it's
right. It's reduced to a swipe left or right.
You know, it's so like automatic or kind of meaningless in that specific way. So I like the respect with which you approach it, and, you know, sort of the development of oneself before, you know, you're essentially ready for another person. And that's probably how it should be, you know, but, you know, it's, we kind of, I guess, get what we get with the modern conditions sometimes.
So I love what you guys are building with your relationship quizzes and love assessments. So I'm assuming a large percentage of your community is couples, right?
Yes, but we do have singles there as well because
Oh,
everything is really geared around the individual. Even though it's a couple, we actually have the husband and wife sign up separately, right? They have their own separate account because we're really trying to work on the individual. So the love assessments is not something the couples take together. The individual takes the love assessment. Our quizzes are designed for an individual to take the quiz. We even have a purpose quiz, really, that's not even necessarily related to relationships. It's just getting to find out who you are as an individual. So most of the things we do are geared towards, even though it's information for the couple, it's really geared for the individual to go through the process.
cool. Can you speak to how you develop the philosophy and design the assessment like algorithms to provide these insights? Like, is AI or machine learning involved to analyze any relationship patterns, or can you speak a little more to how like tech helped you build these quizzes?
Yeah. So we've been at this for 18 years. So it was long before AI and all the other stuff existed. So the love assessments and stuff are actually just, we've taken the actual love assessment that was created years and years ago and just put it online, basically, right? And the quizzes are all created using technology, using the form builder, AI, and all that stuff. But it's still quizzes that we put together to help the individual understand who they are in the relationship mix, and where they may need help, because we want them to now, after they complete the quiz, after they complete the love assessment, we want to now connect with them to go through it and help them understand the relationship dynamic that they have.
And also, like I mentioned before, it's an evolution. Where we began, like Casper said, there was no AI, there was no technology, and now we are graduating and evolving into it. So as we talked about the new software and the new feel and look of our community now, as we learn more and get more involved in the new software that we're having, then our AI and our technology will also evolve.
Yeah.
So those quizzes and those assessments have the potential of becoming more technology. However, in the same token, we don't want it to be all technology, because we want that human to human, person to person interaction. We want people to feel like another human being actually really cares. I mean, AI is cool, but when you have in certain situations, sometimes you just need a real person to talk to. So we don't want to lose it, get so advanced in our technology that we lose that human community, that human touch and sensitivity.
Yeah. I know when I'm online and I'm trying to figure out something and I may reach out to customer service, typically you don't even speak to, and it's a chat bot on the site, right? And after about two interactions, I'm like, okay, can I just speak to like a real person here? Because they're giving me, the AI is just giving me the normal feedback on forgot password, right? Oh, here's no, you don't understand. It's not just forgot password. It's this, and this, and AI can't handle that, at least for right now. So we want to make sure we still have that personal touch, even when we incorporate more AI stuff. We still want to have that personal touch in there.
And I'm sure you guys have experience when you're in a heightened situation yourself. You don't want to talk to a computer. You really, I want a real person right now, but I got a situation here and I really need to speak to a person. And so sometimes it's smooth when it's something just as simple as, changing the password. That's cool. But when you are in a heightened situation yourself, you have your certain stress levels, you want to speak to a real person. And we don't want to lose that in our community. We want them to feel loved. We want them to feel like we care. And we want them to have some individual attention.
And I'm pretty sure that we really will never have an AI address a relationship question. Like if somebody has a question, I don't see us having AI answer that question. I see us answering that question and our staff answering the question. I don't see AI ever answering a personal relationship question like that.
And something I kind of wanted to segue off of, I know, we're talking a lot about the intersection of technology and, personal relationships. I mean, and something I think about quite often is how rapidly, from a technological standpoint, things have evolved and developed.
Yes.
The iPhone is not even 20 years old, and that sort of, turned, what it means to have a personal communicator. It's no longer a pager or BlackBerry. You're not limited to 250. All of these, artificial constraints that have sort of been placed on us and our relationships by technology in such a short period of time. I mean, have you noticed anything, particularly, maladaptive? So, I guess, both the bad and good. I don't know if, maladaptive or adaptive to the introduction and, rise of technology in not even a generation time. I mean, in like a generation and a half, we've basically gone from this is email to, you can, there's you can talk with a robot online. It's like it's incredible to think about sometimes. I try and at least zoom out a little bit.
Yeah When it comes to relationships, if you think about it, before you mentioned pagers. We're old enough to, like, when pagers first came out, we're like, oh, okay, 911, whatever. But you could kind of get away with not staying in touch with someone. In other words, if there was, if you were supposed to meet someone and they didn't show up or they didn't, whatever, you say, hey, I couldn't get to a phone. Well, you don't really have that excuse anymore, right? Because the phone is in your pocket. The phone is with you all the time. So you can't get away with that. I think when it comes to technology, I think that I was slow to get into the texting mode. I just hated texting. I said, look, if you got something to say to me, just call me. Just call me. It's fine. If I can't pick up the phone, I won't. But just call me. I don't like this texting thing, right? But I've had to get into that over the years because everybody's texting, right? And if you don't text back,
well, I like texting.
Yeah,
I like the audio version of texting. Now that's sitting there typing, I don't particularly care for. But when I just press the little microphone button and say what I want to say, and it translates into a text, and I send it to the person, that's wonderful. But I want to bring up a point. You mentioned about pros and cons of technology, and I want to take us back, not 18 years, but just maybe 5-6 years ago. Let's talk about the whole COVID thing. People really began to rely on their technology. They relied on their technology for everything. And in the beginning, having a Zoom meeting was really good. But in my corporation, by year 3, we were burnt out on having Zoom meetings. They were no longer as cool as they were in the beginning.
Yeah, the novelty wore off, right?
And then you look at just the fact that everything you did during that period of time was pretty much solely wrapped into your technology, because you weren't really allowed to interact person to person. Well, from what I am learning and understanding now, we have a percentage of a generation of children that was so wrapped up in their technology. When it was time to transcend to actually communicating with the human being,
they couldn't do it.
They couldn't do it. It became a challenge for them to get them back out into the social mode of hanging out with their friends. There were children or just people or personalities of people that were prone to be somewhat isolated anyway. Well, this gave them the opportunity to be fully isolated. So when it came time to now integrating back into society and a community and a group of friends face to face and in person, they begin to experience challenges.
Yeah.
So what at one point seemed like a really good thing because you can communicate with your technology became a somewhat challenge for a percentage of our population when some of that technology was, transferred into human contact. So the same goes for relationships. People get real comfortable talking to their computer because your computer flows with you. Your computer doesn't fight you, doesn't talk back to you.
It
Doesn't
kind of validates whatever you say,
Yes, it
That's
doesn't.
exactly right.
It's not open-minded, it doesn't have its own thoughts and concepts. Whereas your brother Jack or your sister Susan, she has an opinion.
Yeah.
So now we got to learn how to deal with someone else's thoughts and feelings and opinions, where before we didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would love to hear how you guys are improving. So 97%, I believe you mentioned on your website, of your testimonials say that they have improved their communication, and 92% feel more connected. How are you guys tracking and quantifying this? And how are you tracking this using like data? Like, how are you improving relationships in that way?
Yeah. So for the longest time, we weren't tracking it at all. And that's another reason why we created the Love Hub, because we were doing these workshops all over the place and hundreds of attendees and stuff like that. And we would do surveys, right? We would have a survey afterwards. And the surveys came back positive and everything else, but it wasn't data that was in the system. It was just on paper. So we had to start converting a lot of those surveys into data. And that's where some of those numbers come from, because we get a lot of great feedback in our workshops, but it wasn't, something we could track.
And that's where technology has its place and does it very well.
Yeah. So we're starting to track that now from all of those. And we'll be able to track it even better now with the Love Hub.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, getting feedback from people in the hub sounds like, I mean, that's technical, because you can send a survey after every like event or every call, and it sounds like it's a great way to kind of have that advice that is really tailored to the different tiers. And so you guys in your champion tier have 24/7, is this right? Access. How is this? Yeah, how is this sustainable? Like, or can you? It's very ambitious. Can you tell? I mean, it's not necessarily a chatbot or AI, but are there automations, or how can you use to make around the clock human support sustainable?
Correct. So we may have to alter the language a little bit, but basically we're just saying, look, if you have a question, you can reach us anytime. It doesn't mean we're going to respond within 5 minutes or whatever. You'll respond during business hours, but you can still reach us. We're still reachable. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. Well, Valentine's Day is only a few days away.
Yes.
And you guys have a big event coming up. Can you tell us about this live stream, or what this is?
Yeah. So last year we did an MVP Champion Summit, and we had about 12 different speakers over 6 hours, and we did this summit online, and it went very well. But at the end of it, we were like, oh my God,
exhausted.
We can't do 6 hours, man. It was just crazy because I was trying to manage all the technology and everything. So this time we're going to do a 3-hour summit. We've got 6 couples, including Cheryl and myself. And these couples, their marriage relationship ranges anywhere from 3 years to 40 plus years of experience in marriages and relationships. And they all have, their own books and courses and things that they do on their own. But they've all decided and agreed to volunteer their time so we can put on this summit. So it's a free summit. And the information that folks get, and I know we're gearing it towards couples, but really anyone that wants to have a healthy relationship should be thinking about joining us on this summit. It's going to be this coming Saturday on Valentine's Day from noon to 3 Eastern Standard Time. So you have to figure out the time,
your time zone,
in your time zone, but it's noon to 3. We're going to have, each speaker is going to have about 20 minutes to share. Then we'll have a little break or intermission, and then we'll have the other speaker come on. It's going to go very fast. You know, the last time we did it, even though it was 6 hours, it still went very fast through that process. We have prizes and gifts we're going to be giving away. Our speakers are going to be giving away some items as well. So it's going to be a great time. And because it's falling on a Saturday on Valentine's Day, it's perfect because during the day you can get training, and then in the evening you can go out and, you know, have a good time and go out to dinner or whatever.
Awesome.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
So a lot of our speakers picked certain topics. So we're going to cover communication. We're also going to cover, another couple is going to talk about, I think the fighting fair.
Yeah, fighting fair. We have conflict resolution, financing and budgeting, sex and romance, family fun. You know, so we have a wide range of topics that each speaker is going to be covering from their perspective. And that's what was also cool, because Cheryl and I share, we teach on all those things on our podcast, on our TV show, in our books and all that. But this is coming from a different couple, different perspective, same thing, communication. How do they handle it? You know, how does a couple that's been married 40 years, how do they handle communication?
Versus a couple who's been married for 5 years.
Right. So it's going to be, it's going to be good.
I love it. I love this real human, authentic advice, not from ChatGPT.
Correct. Yeah, because Chad has an opinion. If you ask Chad about communication, so he'll give you a nice little list of stuff, right? You know, but you still have to carry those things out. You still have to engage with someone to carry it out. So.
Yeah, the difference is Chad hasn't really been in a relationship that he can tell you some of the good and bad parts of his relationship, nor can he say, you know, I was divorced, and so this is what I learned from my last marriage, you know. So it's good to have people who have been through these real life experiences that's willing to share with you.
One of a big topic on our show is data privacy and trust with platforms and how data is stored. Is this something that your users are concerned with? Are you taking any steps to, I don't want to say minimize like any risks, but obviously people are sharing details, I'm assuming in person on the virtual platform. So it's like not necessarily recorded, or AI is not being trained on this data, but can you speak about like what measures give your users confidence that their information is safe?
Well, one of the things, even in our in-person workshops that we talk with couples, when we do hands-on training, we ask that you not share anything that's going to embarrass, disrespect, make uncomfortable your partner. Whatever you share, even though we're going to use it for training purposes, make it light, easy, and not trivial, but something really minimal. We don't want it to be heavy. And so it's the same thing with our guests who will be speaking. They will be speaking from a perspective of what's comfortable for them. And whereas one couple may be very private, they may not share as transparently.
Correct.
But another couple who's quite comfortable in themselves and who they are, they don't mind sharing. Casper and I are very transparent people. We don't mind, because these have been our life experiences, and we have to know for a fact that there are other people out there who are going through some real life struggles. And sometimes when you get down to rock bottom, when that pain gets really deep or it gets really heavy, you get to a point where it's like, look, I don't care about any of that. I need help, and I need help now. You know, if you got something to share with me, an experience, and you're willing to tell me how, I'm willing to listen. So we really, we try to keep it light. We don't want people to be hurt, embarrassed, We don't want them sharing things that they don't want shared.
Hmm.
But those couples who are comfortable, we let them share.
Yeah. We always have disclaimers in our live workshops, and it'll be the same in the Love Hub. We don't want people to share anything they don't want to. And if it starts to go into a private or sensitive area, we say, hey, let's take that offline.
Mhm.
You can talk to Cheryl and I about it, but let's not have it out in the community.
Yes.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a good policy, I feel like, to respect everybody
Sure.
and make sure that there's like a balance between how much is transparent, but then also like, oh, this is a little too much. We might not want to have all this out there. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, looking forward to the future, there's obviously a lot of emerging technologies like VR. I know AI means so many different things to different people, but are there any in the next few years? Are there any technologies, emerging technologies like VR or something else that you see as potentially transformative for how couples can connect and grow together through the Love Hub digital platform?
Well, we're trying to get a handle on what we have right now. We feel like we have a tiger by the tail right now.
Yeah.
Just
Of course. You don't have to preview anything that's coming, but I mean, I know personally I play with my VR headset, sometimes, and it is really interesting seeing how people interact in those types of virtual spaces. And to be honest, I don't even really have an opinion yet on whether I think it's more, I mean, sure, it's a more immersive, but am I really connecting on a deeper level with the people? I don't really know, not necessarily, maybe I'm more focused, but it's hard to say.
Yeah. So from our perspective, we're open to the technology, obviously, because we're actually older than we probably look, and we have embraced technology as it's come along. So if something comes along that is going to enhance what we're doing, we're more than happy to embrace it. We don't have anything on tap right now to bring in VR or bring in whatever, because right now we're building this out. We literally just started the first of the year. This is not even 60 days old. So we're still building it out. We're still getting it up and running to the point, to where we feel that, okay, now it's at a point that we can start now bringing in some new pieces. So
every year we do, or every 6 months, I'd say we probably reevaluate where we are and see what can we upgrade. What can we do away with? Maybe, like we found out that the app didn't work quite as well as we wanted it to work.
Right.
So we did away with that portion, but then we found something that we believe is going to be better. And like Casper said, we're still filling that out. I mean, we're still.
It's brand new for us.
Yeah.
It's a brand new baby. So
that's great. Yeah, that's always good to be evolving. I mean, that's technology, right? Every year there's something new, and how can you incorporate it? I would be curious, like games, like virtual, like relationship games. Is this something that you use technology, or are you?
We did that.
Yeah, so we actually have a card game that we developed several years ago. And we probably will be incorporating that into the hub and stuff. We haven't even until you just mentioned it. I'm like, why don't we have a card game in our hubs? So that's something we definitely
and
will do. Yeah.
We also did we've done 2 TV shows,
2 seasons.
2 seasons. We have a TV show called Winning with Love, and in season 1 of Winning with Love, we incorporated a game show.
Yeah, and our card game was part of that game show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they can access all of our TV episodes in the hub. That's why we have them in there, so they can watch season 1 and season 2. And season 1 includes the
game show.
The game show, like Cheryl mentioned.
Very cool. Yeah, I feel like taking something physical like a card game and figuring out the best way to make it digital and still so people have a good experience. That is tough to translate perfectly. So because you want people to have a good experience.
I have a list of about 30 things, Jack, that I'm trying to get,
That's on there somewhere.
I bet. Yeah. Well, I was just going to ask what's on your roadmap, but it sounds like we already got a sneak peek. If there's anything else you'd like to share, yeah, we'd love to hear how, this, like Sam said, this intersection of technology and relationship building is where it's heading. Is so exciting.
Yeah. The Love Hub is new. It's less than 60 days old. So right now we're just building that out. And as I think I showed you the map of the hub and stuff, and it has all those pieces. Well, all those pieces need to mature, right? There's different videos. Like we've just added another 5 or plus hours of video on the hub. We've got another 20 or so hours we're going to be adding to the hub, just video content of us doing trainings over the years and stuff. So there's a lot more to do for the hub to really grow out to where it needs to be, and to be attractive, right? For the folks to come in at any level, whether they're married or single or what have you. So our main focus now is just building that out. Like Cheryl said, for the next 6 months is going to be our focus. But the card game is now on the list. Thanks, Jack. Appreciate that. So
You're welcome.
the card game's on the list.
And another thing we want to do, this is not so much a part of technology, but to help build our community, is doing more live workshops. We're looking to do some live workshops and have people get to meet more people. And that way we get to introduce them to the community and invite them to join the hub, but to really just help, to support, to help, to educate people in their relationships, their communication, and becoming healthy so that we can all love and communicate well.
Yeah. Now there is another area that, as we're thinking about it, that I want to build out, and that is reaching out to other marriage coaching folks like us, because there's a bunch of them out there. And if they have a course that they're offering at a cost, maybe it's $50, $100, whatever, we can add that to our store in the hub so we can sell it on their behalf, for them. So just now we're creating a place to where people are coming not just to get Casper and Cheryl's content, but other coaches as well. So bring them in.
We'll be building out a second community, a community of those couples or singles who want the information, but also get a camaraderie and a communication with people who are in the same arena that we're in, so that we can all collaborate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it sounds like is that kind of like a marketplace style system? Yeah, I think that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, that's the way I see it. Because we have a store right now for our material, but I'd like to have a store for other coaches' material as well that we can sell on their behalf. Obviously, we would have a commission structure set in place for that, but they would be able to sell their product not just on their platform, but also on our platform.
That's a great idea. No, it's a really great idea. I feel like, e-commerce has facilitated so much in terms of how, not only from like a backlink perspective. I mean, this can get very technical, but I think it's great having that, because it helps your online presence, and again, it's using technology to spread the message and to connect people better, and that way their relationships flourish. So
exactly.
In the new year.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, I think, Sam, any final thoughts?
One last thing, given it's Valentine's Day, I don't know, what's one tidbit for our viewers who are looking to improve themselves and maybe find love, in this modern world we find ourselves in? Any not it can be very small and bite sized, but not to any advice for the the people out in the ether?
In the ether. I always have a passion for singles. So for my single friends, I would say be comfortable with you. Get to know who you are before you jump off into any type of relationship of any kind. If you have had a past that wasn't so pleasant, that caused you hurt or pain, get healing from that. Learn how to overcome in your own pace and be healed so that you can be a whole person. Casper and I here at I Am Love Builders, we do not adhere to a 50% person coming together with another 50% person. We don't believe in the 50-50 in that arena.
Yeah.
We believe in 100% and 100%. You be 100% you, and let your partner be 100% them. And then you come together, two wholes make a better whole.
Yeah.
So I would say if there's trauma, drama, pain, get healing before you step into a relationship. There's no stigma on being single.
Mhm.
If you want to stay single,
Yeah,
stay single.
Yeah, nothing wrong with it. Yeah, you know, the image is when you have you and you have them, and you're separate. But when you come together, you form a new entity, right? It's not just you anymore. You can't just go out and hang out all night and not tell someone, right?
Mhm.
You have to start to merge into that new relationship. So be flexible in the sense that, but you can't be so rigid that you say, "Well, I'm sorry, that's just the way I did it with the boys, so I'm gonna do that." No, that those days are over. You now have to merge into this relationship. Now, both of you need to be willing to do that. So it's not just one-sided.
Mhm.
It's not just his way or just her way. It's
Our
it's
way.
our way, right?
Yes.
So if you can figure that out, that's way more than half the battle right there, right? And just being respectful for one another. Yeah. So can I give out our website?
Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
Please.
It's iamlovebuilders.net. iamlovebuilders.net. And then right at the top of the page right now, there's a green button to register for the MVP Summit. So you can click on that green button and get registered, because there is seating is limited on the live stream. So we want folks to get registered ASAP.
Awesome. Well, wishing you guys a good luck on that event. It sounds super exciting. Thanks again for coming on and talking with us. It's a pleasure hearing how technology is improving the lives and relationships of so many people in your community. Yeah, thank you guys for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. Hey, you have to text me that intro. I need that intro, brother.
I